guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and for those of you who are new here, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Here on my channel, I do planner and planner related videos, DIY tutorials, budget videos, and the occasional new release video of items that I've listed to my Etsy shop. And if that is of interest to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you hit that little notification bell, you'll always be notified of when I do load a new video. Also, if you could comment on this video, like and share it on your favorite platform, that does help my channel grow and would be truly appreciated. So today I'm going to be doing 3 different layouts in the what Happy Planner is now calling the skinny planner, which is essentially a half sheet Happy Planner. And I did want to show you that the way that I typically do it in mine, and this is the only planner that I have other than my budget planner. So this is my on the go. I throw it in my purse and it goes with me everywhere. And the way that I do mine is I have it sectioned out, and this is an entire DIY project. If you're interested in how I made this, you can go in the description box below. But I do have this segmented out where I do planning on both a traditional weekly planner style, and because this is a DIY, I do actually typically have different layouts every single week, and that's what I absolutely love about this planner, and that's in my traditional planner section. But I also track social media and business, which I do more of a task-oriented style. So instead of having a weekly setup, I actually just have things set up by the different things that I am tracking. And again, every single week I make an absolutely new layout. There is no cohesion, and I am absolutely okay with that. However, if you've got your eyes on the new skinny planner, but you're not a fan of the wrong, or it's going to be forever until it hits your stores, and you know they either sold out on happyplanner.com, or you know the price point is a bit high and they don't really have coupons like you know your Joann's and your Michaels have, I'm going to show you how to make your own. I actually have one where I show you how to do it in the regular dot grid, but you might have this particular half sheet from, I believe, the latest release where the pages are lined. So I will show you how to make that weekly layout on your lined paper. I will also give you just a heads up, because again, unless you have been playing around with the whole HappyNichi concept, this might be your first introduction into the skinny planner system. But if you have some of these sheets here, this can easily be done in a skinny planner. I mean, if you already have one, or if you're like me where you can't get them readily here on island, I just make my own, and then I've just stuck all of these different half sheet things, and I can actually, if I needed to on a weekly basis, if I'm busy or whatnot, I can turn this very easily into my weekly layout. And because it's double-sided, this would be the layout that I can use for something decorative or tracking, and then this is what I could use for my weekly planning. So again, depending on where you are in your own journey in this whole skinny planner, you might look at this and think, well, it's just to put in my classic as like running to-do lists. And you might be like me where, no, this is an entire planner system. Like for instance, this one, this could be used exactly as is, and then you can just have a weekly setup on this side, and it's really easy to do. Now what I've done here shows you that this layout here are these pages right here. And so again, you might not see this as a planner, but I absolutely do. But because, and this planner here, or this half sheet, was gifted to me by Val of Nate's Mom Plans, and I'll link her below. I want to also try to figure out, well, how can I use the line pages that come with it? Because my preference is the dot grid. So as you can see, you can certainly do a HappyNichi Weeks style layout on the left-hand side, and that could be easily replicated with this particular half sheet pack, so that you can use your weekly planning on this side, and then you can have all of these things on this side. And then every time you fold a paper or you fold it over, you can still make your own weekly to-dos. So I think this half sheet is very versatile. And so today I'll be showing you 3 different layout styles. One will be how to make the new skinny layout on lined paper. And then I'll also be showing you 2 layouts that are inspired by 2 people here on YouTube that I think are absolutely super creative. So let's get started. Now these are some of the layouts that I've done in the past. If you're interested, I will link out the layout playlist below. And really it's just to see how functional I can make these lined pages, because my default is using the dot grid. And we'll take out a few sheets. Not exactly sure how many I'll need, but we'll just go for this right now. And so the first one we're going to do is, like I said, the new skinny layout from Happy Planner. Now, I've done this ahead of time where I've counted the lines. And so in order to get 4 equal boxes, what you would need is to count 8. And then once you hit number 8, you would start at that dot, and then you'd count 8 again. And that would give you equal boxes with just a little bit above and below that you can use some washi if you wanted to, or you could just leave it as is. And so let me set that up. Now this one I will do some light decorating so that I can show you how, if you are new to the half sheet, how versatile this can be, because I believe the page is actually slightly less wide than a mini, but it definitely is taller than a mini. So that might take some getting used to if you are in this new planner system for you. For me, I've been working on this since I believe June of this year. But I just wanted to make the lines darker so that you can see the actual boxes. Now, some people prefer working in lines than dot grid. And again, if you already have this half sheet Happy Notes, then it would be very easy to convert. Now, you could go all the way to the end. I'm not going to, because it's not really that important. But again, if you are making your own just to test it out, whether or not you want to get your own, then that's absolutely up to you. And normally I would do freehand. But because there's already lines there, I just really want to darken it up so that I can really see the difference between the two. If this were either graph or dot grid, I might just freehand it just because it's faster. Okay, and then you always want to make sure that your umbrellas are facing each other. And let me get a sticker book. All right, so I pulled out these 3 here. Don't know what I'm going to be using, but the half sheet, the good thing about it is sized for the classic, because it does have the height of a classic, if not the width, because it's on the 9-disc system, so things are going to fit. Now with the new layout that they have, I don't know if they're going to have corresponding sticker books, but that's okay, because what you can do is you want to first set out your layout, because you're making your own. It's not going to say Monday through Sunday. So 2, 4, 6, 7. So I'm just going to use this Carpe Diem sticker book, which I believe is the Bloom one, and I'm going to make little day headers. And I don't know if you guys have a YouTube if you're watching, but laying things out on a video makes this seem a lot more fiddly than it needs to, because this is actually quite a bit of ways for me so that I can have it in frame. So if it seems like I'm struggling, I mean, I am, but it's more so because of position of where the product is versus, you know, anything else. So you'd lay that out, because again, you want to track on the daily. Oh, yeah. Now, I did pick up this Bloom sticker book from Amazon, and it is one of my favorites. I actually like Carpe Diem products in general, but I did notice that it isn't very sticky, which is good if I need to reposition, but not so great if I'm worried about lifting. And I don't know if it's because it was in the warehouse, because not all of my Carpe Diem do that, but I just wanted to point that out. And so I've got my headers, and then this would be my notes section if I followed the layout like Happy Planner has it, although you could certainly start your notes up there. And then if you have any classic or mini size, because I think those are the best for this, then you could actually just go to town. And because this is taller, this box is taller than this, you're thinking, well, now I have to do a lot of cutting, when you really don't. So let me see if I can find a long box like this. Now, planning in this, if you are coming from the classic or the big, might take some getting used to, because you've got lots of space and you don't. I do think it is the most versatile, because from a size perspective, it gives me just a little bit more room than the mini does, but it does give me the height, and for some reason that does make a difference. So as you can see, I can lay a long box here, and I can still do some decorative things. And because I can make the notes up here, this can be my Saturday and Sunday, and then I can have a to-do list going on here and still have quite a bit of functional space. Now again, if you're coming out of a mini, then you're used to not having tons of space as if you were in the classic or the big. If you're coming from those systems, then this may seem very restrictive, but for the way that I plan, it isn't. And so let me put this here. All right, guys, so sorry I went on radio silence because I got so focused on the playing that I forgot that I was recording. So as you can see, we've got some decoration going on. We've got some space for some planning. We're using our stuff if you already have this half sheet Happy Notes, and I think it's a great way to test out whether or not this half sheet skinny planner really will work for you. Because if you're coming from the big and the classic, it can take some adjusting. The way that I've seemed to overcome that for myself, because I did used to plan out of a big Happy Planner, is I've made those two functional sections. So I do have my weekly section, and then I also have my social media in a different section, and that way it actually gives me more space because I'm not doing cross-functional planning. So this is how you can make the new skinny planner layout using the lined half sheet paper. The next layout we're going to be doing is something that I saw Krystal from Crystal Clear Ideas do in hers. Now she used stickers, but I don't know that I have enough of those stickers, and so I think the lined paper actually is very conducive to making this particular layout. And so what she did was she used the book stickers from one of the academic planners in order to make her days of the week. And because those particular books have had no writing on the spine, then, I mean, it doesn't give you tons of space, but it does give you enough space to write in. So let's make this book longer. And the two pens that I'm using is, I'm switching between, actually, the 3 pens. This is the Pilot Papermate, or no, this is the Papermate Flare in medium. My other go-to is the Muji in 3.8, and then this is the High-Tech C pen from Pilot in a 0.3. Now, if you're new to my channel, you may be a little disturbed by the willy-nilly free-handedness, but that's actually kind of how I like to do things. I also don't measure things, as you can see. And for me, it's really about the creative play. But if you see layouts on Instagram or here on YouTube and you don't necessarily have the same stuff, then I really encourage you to push yourself and think, okay, well, how can I make that into something that I can recreate with what I do have? And so I think this is a great little way to do that. And I believe, I can't remember if she used the books that had the glasses on top, or if she used the books that had the apple on top, or honestly, she might have used both. And to look at this, because I know it's not books, I actually see like a wedding cake versus the books. So if you were getting married, this might be a layout that you may want to try that gives you some decorative aspects of a wedding cake and still gives you some functional space. And again, this really would work if you are like me and you are a list maker. This probably would not work if you like to write like phrases and paragraphs and whatnot, because unless you can write super tiny, with this pen you could actually do that. This is not going to be enough space for you. There really isn't. But I think it's just super fun and playful. And if you just tuned in to the whole skinny layout, or that the half sheet Happy Notes can be used as a planner, then this might seem way too fussy and creative and just no one's got time for this. I mean, I get it. But I think it is, for me, ticking all of the boxes on how to use the stuff that I have in the method that I like. And every week I can look at something new, because I think the traditional planner for me has been a bit, honestly, stifling, because I'm always thinking about different ways on how to use the same layout. I don't find that that's a thing when I am making my own. Now, does it take some time? Absolutely. But I find it actually quite, I want to say creative, and I do, but it's also kind of relaxing. Now, because I do it on film, sometimes it's a little less relaxing than I'd like it to be, just because of the filming aspect of it. But for the most part, I like pushing myself every week. And so I'm hoping that this will just help give you guys some ideas on how to create things. And because this one is so decorative in and of itself, the way I would finish this up would actually be very minimal. And so I'm going to fast forward through this part, because I do just want to color the spines. And then when I'm done, we'll finish up this particular layout, and then we'll get started on the final layout. All right, so I wanted to show you, this is what we are trying to recreate. Now, is this cuter? Absolutely, but that's okay. Now, this is the teacher sticker book that my friend Val sent to me. Now, I'm not a teacher, but I love using this sticker book because I just think it's super cute. But this is one that I had from last year. In order to finish this up here, I'm going to stick some apples. Again, not a teacher, but I don't think that is important. I mean, I love books, and honestly, I like apples, so I think it still works. I'm gonna put some apples there. And then put a quote down here. Again, this could still be a very functional layout for me because I can write in the spines of the book if I just want to have a running to-do list. I could actually write above or below. And so for me, I think it works a treat. And then let's use this here. Because I'm not a teacher, it's okay that I'm using this because I probably wouldn't use it any other way. And then I can actually do this here and make myself a little checklist. I think that's sweet. And thank you, Krystal, for just the idea, because I thought your layout was super cute, but that's the second layout that we're going to be doing together. And the third layout, I think you guys are really going to like, and this was inspired by Tameka of Pastries, Pumps, and Pie. And again, her channel will be linked below. Now, I wanted to bring this out again because in the back, and I've made this cover, and the way that it's held together is I slide the back cover into this pocket, and so that creates a pocket in the back, and I keep this. Now, this is a cash envelope that I took out of my shop because, I mean, it's just a laminated envelope. And this is where I keep some templates that I've made that I've used in other layouts. And so the one that I want to use is this one here. Now, all this is a classic size box that's put on some cardboard and then cut out for the shape so that I have something that is the exact right size that I want it to be, but it's sturdier than just having a sticker on like a piece of copy paper. Okay. Now, I'm really hoping I can execute this because the one that she did was just so pretty. And her boxes might actually have been bigger, but this is the size that I'm going to use. And what I'm going to use is my Muji pen, and I'm going to draw some lines. Now, it might seem a little fussier than it needs to be, but that is absolutely okay. I mean, of course, if you were just pressed for time, then you may want to use one of those half sheets like I showed you earlier, and just use that as your weekly layout, no problem. But if you do have a bit of time to create, or if you just want to push the boundaries on what it is that you can make, then, I mean, I think this is probably the reason why I love it so much, because I really do tend to prefer the bullet journal style, but I am not a book bound or spiral bound or coil bound person. I don't like it. And so for me, this ticks all the boxes where I have all the form and functionality of a disc bound system, but all the freedom of a bullet journal. Okay. Now, I probably should have used the Papermate Flair. What I would caution you is if you are using a Papermate Flair, you're going to really need to let it dry before you start using your mild liners or your highlighters or whatever your color is, because this smudges like crazy. The Muji and the high-tech pen, they dry quickly and they don't smudge. Also, I would recommend coloring in and then writing on top, and then you'll get less of a chance of smudging. So that's the reason why I did that. And then the way she did this, and this one might be a little off because it's not at an angle, is she made it, and I don't want to drive her crazy, so let me try to make this as straight as I can. So she basically did like a tiered step kind of thing. Now this is probably like some kind of Zoid, like a trapezoid or a megazoid or a stensizoid. Those last two I think I just made up. But I mean, you still have all of the size of a classic box, so it is still something that is rather functional. But I thought it was just super creative and honestly quite mathy, which makes sense because she is a math teacher, of her to use her HappyNichi, she calls it her My Nichi, in this way. So that would be Monday through Thursday. Again, that one I should have staggered a little bit, and so I'm going to run into that same problem here, but that's okay. And then this would be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And again, you probably, if you're coming from just a traditional planner system, you may think this is utter chaos. I mean, what is with the nonsense of making your own styles? And some of you, this might just be super interesting, like, you know what? I have been in a bit of a rut and I've wanted to try new things. And so let me, try this out and see if I even like it. Because the thing that I've always felt is the downside of picking up all the new planners is, especially if it's in layouts that you have never used before, you might get into it thinking this is going to be exactly what I need, and then slowly realize I hate this, and now I have this entire planner that I absolutely hate. If you can try to recreate it in things that you have, then at least you can test it out before purchasing, because then it's an informed purchase versus an impulse purchase. Now the way that you can decorate this, and I don't know if this one will be useful, and I believe the way that she decorated hers, yeah, let me go get something else. Now I don't remember which sticker book she used, but I believe she used some florals. It might have been out of the Fun Florals, but I have this one. I don't know what the name is of it, but it is an older one. And so I'm going to be using florals as well. Oh, I ripped my sticker. I'm going to regret this, I know, but sometimes they just drive me crazy. So we're going to put this, actually I think we can cut it, and then I don't have to use an X-Acto. And you probably know this already, but if you use, or if you cut your stickers, then I would recommend always using the same scissors, because it will gum up your scissor like nobody's business. So just, because I didn't really realize that until this one was already pretty much mangled. And we'll do the same here. Now you could always do the placement and then cut it, but I have this really bad habit of cutting through my paper, and so I'm just going to cut it and hope that I've cut a straight line. Then I haven't really drawn a straight line, so it doesn't really matter. So she did something like this, where she still has her functional boxes for the days of the week. And let's use this one here. And if you are new to my channel, if you have not noticed, but I love florals. So my go-to for decorating is typically florals, because I think they're just the most versatile. So when I'm doing layout videos like this, I generally like to add some extra with florals, just because of that, because I think it's super decorative without a lot of thought. Although, because there's that whole not a lot of thought thing, you can actually tell that. definitely check out her channel because she made this look awesome. Although she's really good at her layout, so I mean, that's not a surprise. To me, sometimes I'm quite surprised in how it ends up. Not always in a good way. All right, so in this bottom section here, you could certainly leave it and make a big like to-do list or checklist or whatever. But I usually like to just fill it in. And again, you've got a layout that's interesting. Again, if you do it staggered, the first box as well as the rest of them, it sort of looks like if you had folded a piece of paper and it's kind of falling out that way. And I think that's really cute. So let me put this back into that layout ideas half sheet I have, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so the layouts that we did today was the skinny layout, the new one that has come out in the 2020 release of Happy Planner products. And again, the only difference between that layout and this one is aligned and that one is dot grid. We did get inspired by Krystal of Krystal Clear Ideas to do this sort of book layout. I think this is super cute. And then Tameka, and both of these ladies did a much better job than I did, but Tameka inspired me with this sort of falling folded paper layout. Again, I think it's a Zoid of some kind, but I couldn't tell you what it was, where there is still enough room to do a little bit of planning and it's still very fun and decorative. If you are interested in these other layout videos, definitely check out the playlist in the description box below. As always, guys, thank you so much for following me on this journey, and aloha.